So I want to cover this article posted by Reuters about a day ago, and the headline reads, AI helps drive record 11.8 billion in Black Friday online spending. And as the time of I'm posting this video to YouTube, it was about a day ago that this article came out. So let's read a little bit about this and then check what people are saying on X and a couple of other anecdotal points. So Black Friday online shopping, online sales hit 11.8 billion, up 9.1% from last year. And this is the data comes from an Adobe Analytics report. I didn't read the report, but I am reading multiple sources and people's opinions on them. And so, yeah, sales were up about almost 10% on the year. And there's some interesting reasons as to why and where those sales are coming from. So one of the main things that they highlighted is that AI tools have been helping consumers find deals, boosting online shopping. So people are tapping into ChatGPT. People are using other AI and LLM kind of software to hunt for deals and compare and shop. So you have the ability to go on ChatGPT and ask, find me the best, phone cases and the biggest deals, and then AI can help you. So that's sort of what they're saying here. So an interesting point is that physical store traffic subdued due to inflation and trade policy concerns, which is code for tariffs, most likely, right? And so people aren't shopping in stores as much this year. They're mostly going online, and I suspect that's because you can get a better kind of gauge for deal hunting online versus just being in store and saying, well, I have, these two stores in the mall to look at and compare prices versus online. Okay. So Cyber Monday is projected to hit 14.2 billion in online sales, according to Adobe. And if you remember up here, Black Friday only hit 11.8 billion. So Cyber Monday is projected to be even bigger, because usually electronic prices and people are excited about that. And that's obviously Cyber Monday is kind of more gearing towards electronics, though not 100%. Okay, so there's some other interesting points in this article. One thing I want to point out is kind of further down in this article. 10.4% growth in e-commerce sales compared to an in-store sales growth of only 1.7% in 2024. So e-commerce is growing at a faster rate than physical, outpacing, and we might even see kind of like a reverse in this eventually, where retail in-person shopping is down and e-commerce is up. Okay, because of that globalization and ability to deal hunt and do that from the comfort of your home. Okay, so the AI driven traffic to U.S. retail stores soared 805% compared to last year. So more people are using ChatGPT, more people are using Claude, any of these AI sort of tools built into platforms. Although Walmart's AI and Amazon's AI shopping tools are not yet fully launched. They might be in beta, but don't quote me on that. And so the last thing I wanted to bring up on this article was that although consumers spent more this Black Friday compared to last year, price increases hampered online demand, according to Salesforce, with shoppers purchasing fewer items at checkout compared to last year. Now, that's basically the majority of the article, but the follow-up to that is that order volumes fell 1% as average prices rose 7%. So people are buying fewer items but paying more, and overall spending is up. But that's not because people are buying more or getting more. They're just paying more due to inflation and due to tariffs. That's not good for consumer spending. Okay, so essentially a kind of a discourse on Twitter is happening from this report, and it's always good to read comments from other people who are consuming this to kind of get an idea. And so what I came to the conclusion of, and similar people had similar takes, is it's not a record sales amount. It's just inflation wearing a party hat, which is a good way to put it. And so it's a classic higher prices, lower volume story. People are still spending, but inflation is cutting into how much people actually buy. And so that is concerning. And unfortunately, we can't see out of this 11.8 billion how much was bought with cash or debit cards versus credit cards. And I suspect a lot of this is credit. I heard a rumor of about 7 billion being put on credit and only 5 billion, give or take, being cash or debit. And so if we look at total consumer credit, so this is car loans, credit cards, student loans, and I think a couple other things in here, not mortgages, but total credit people are using, debt is topping, all-time highs, over 5 trillion in the US for consumers. So total consumer credit debt is at all-time highs. That is not a good sign, especially when we're taking into account shopping numbers and all that. It's very likely that most people are just sticking this on a credit card and kicking the can down the road. So a little bit more of a clearer picture here is consumer loans, credit cards, and other revolving plans from all commercial banks. So again, this is from the St. Louis Fed, a really good source to look at some of this data, but it dropped slightly coming into the new year. And we see that it's basically at an all-time high of over $1 trillion in credit cards alone. Now, that's not including the up-and-coming Klarna or buy now, pay later financial products. That is not considered credit card loans, right? But all in all, it looks like people are still spending, but buying less and paying more.